Welcome everyone to another episode of Taneth Talks podcast. And today I have a very, very special guest. I love this person. And she's a transformation coach. She's an athlete. She's a woman who represents strength, discipline, and authenticity. She has built an incredible community on social media. She has millions of followers on YouTube, Instagram, and I know why, because I truly admire her. But I think what inspires me the most about her is her consistency. No matter the season, she's always looking great. She's always having a great physique. She's always having a huge smile on her face, a good mindset. And that's something I deeply relate to as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's balancing always so many roles at the same time. So it's a huge inspiration for me having that person right next to me. It's an honor to have here sitting by my side to Aida Bergfoth.
Thank you. Oh my God, I have goosebumps, you guys. That was one of the kindest introductions I've ever heard in my entire life.
You deserve it. This is only truth, guys. This girl is amazing inside out.
I'm going to cry.
No, thank you for
so
accepting the invitation. Thank you for always being so supportive with everyone, not only with me, because I've been witness that you collaborate with a lot of influencers, a lot of people, because you know how important it is to grow and support each other as community. And I'm really happy you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor, and it's something that I really looked forward to for a while.
And I hope you guys listen to every single word, because it's gonna work. This girl has a lot of good things to share with us today.
Hopefully, let's go.
I prepared some questions because I want to navigate into more kind of the personal life and how everything started with you, with your journey, because it's easy when you see someone having success. It's easy when you see her succeeding in Instagram, on YouTube, and you wonder like how this girl got here, how this girl got her body, her physique, her marriage. Because I can tell, like, it's not only your physique, it's the mindset shift, it's the family first, it's the good things you can add in others' life, you know? Okay. So I wanted to ask you, what made you start your fitness journey? What made you say, like, I'm gonna focus on this?
Yeah. So it actually goes back so far, but me and my family, we took over the house after my grandmother and grandfather.
She's from Swedish.
Yeah, yes. I'm from Sweden. So my mom and dad, they got a house from my grandfather and grandmother when they passed away, and we needed to renovate it to make more room because we were a bigger family than just the two of them. So I saw that I very naturally fell into helping my dad with the heavy stuff, like lifting things out, doing all the digging and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I am 12, 13 years old and I'm really strong by nature. I was strong.
I know.
And I was always like,
I can tell your genetics. You don't have to explain me. I can tell.
It was just so fun. And I had a trucker as a neighbor. So he had all the fun stuff, all the tires, all the logs. And I just started to play with those on my spare time.
Oh, wow.
So my lifting started with heavy stuff already in my teenage years.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this might be something fun. And then I found our little gym in my small town. It was only one.
So you were around 15-year-old?
Yeah, 14 when I found the gym, which was on top of a barn.
Oh my gosh. This is only got better.
And the only bodybuilder we had in town was the owner of this gym, which kind of makes sense.
It was a small town, right?
Yeah, a very small town. And he said, you're a little bit too young, but back then it was not a rule, it was just a recommendation. So with my parents' consent, I was allowed into the gym.
Oh, wow.
But he said, I need to be here and I need to show,
yeah, you need supervision because you are a girl.
Because I'm so young.
I know.
And he was like, yeah, and I need to show you the basic lifts.
Yeah. Okay.
And I, to this day, still remember when I fell in love with the deadlift. It was such a
Right?
good,
Like
yeah.
it was love at the first sight.
Yes,
Like,
it
oh
was.
my
And
gosh.
that's like where I was like, okay, whatever I do, I'm gonna have this as my sanctuary.
Oh, that's so
So
amazing, and I feel happy with those kind of stories because in my side, in my story it was kind of the opposite. I have to, navigate through some mistakes because in Venezuela the culture of fitness wasn't a big deal in the moment. So I had to struggle a lot with, nutritional eating disorders or crazy diet because I wanted to feel good with myself, but I didn't know how to approach it, how to do it. I didn't know how to work out, about a gym. No one in my family ever work out or do diet or ever. So I was kind of like, driving in a new way that I
yeah,
didn't have no clue or anything.
yeah,
So I'm happy that at least you have that gift that you found your path at really young age.
yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely did. And then, as any teenager, though,
I know.
we fall off and we fall back on, and we try this and we try that, as we should. So even if I felt like lifting was what I kind of fancied the most, I was still trying dancing. I tried volleyball.
Yeah, like
I
trying
tried
to find
track
the
and
right
field.
passion or
Yeah.
something, because we always want to strive for something that keep us excited,
Yeah.
like, and it's not, it's always like we're gonna touch that point later,
Yeah.
when motivation fades, because
Yeah.
it's not always easy.
Definitely not. Absolutely.
And then, what was the hardest mental barrier you have to overcome to be where you are right now? Because I know we all struggle in life when something doesn't goes up as we plan. In my case, I got a divorce in the past. I had to start again here. And I think that was a mental barrier that I have to overcome to actually put my life together again.
Yeah.
And it was really, really hard for me. But I know it's not only me. I know everyone passed hard situations that make us better at the end. What was your hardest situation in life that made you switch and say, like, I'm not gonna give up, I'm gonna continue?
There has been so many different layers and so many different experiences in my life that could have taken me so sideways or so far from the path that I've been on. Losing my father was one of those big
Wow.
things.
How old were you when you lose your father?
I was 19 and
Wow.
going on turning.
Because you grew up with your
20.
mom and your dad, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
it must be so hard.
It was really hard, and but that was also the time when I had deeply fallen into love with fitness and really found my real purpose. So I would say that my secondary biggest struggle was when I felt like I no longer want to compete.
Because you had to find, okay, reinvent myself.
Yes.
What I'm gonna do now.
Yeah.
If it's not, this, what I'm gonna do, what's next?
Yeah. So that was really hard, going from being an athlete and someone that was actually being judged on stage. And I trained to kind of support what the judges wanted me to look like. And I was like, okay, but I actually really deeply want to train the way that I want to train and not the way that they tell me to train. So I need to kind of make a decision, and it might mean that I cannot no longer compete, which I think is fun.
And that was the reason why you stopped competing.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't be you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to follow a path. You have to look a certain way that you are not.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, well, then this is not for me. And that was a mental struggle because for so many years at that point, I had been so into it. Because when you are on the extreme spectrum of anything, as bodybuilding athletes are, because that's an extreme sport,
Yeah, of course it is.
you will have to second guess and you have to try new things, and you need to like really reinvent the wheel again in your brain of how you're gonna live and how to find your balance.
I'm gonna earn money,
Yeah.
because that's my passion, that's my
Yeah,
work,
yeah. So how will I do this, and will I ever be able to eat normally again? And what is normal? Like,
I know what is normal. My
there's-
hormones.
Yeah.
How I'm gonna get used to look my body with more 45%.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we got like the sensation we are overweight. We're not looking good enough because we are used to look a certain way that it's not even healthy. It's not even real.
Yeah.
It's just for a little period of time, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So that makes me want to another question. Were there moments you wanted to quit? Like, okay, maybe I'm gonna change my focus. I'm gonna focus on another thing, not fitness. Like, were there any part of your life that you were gonna quit your fitness journey?
I would say absolutely. In the first few years, when I started to grow muscles, like that, people started to see, and I started to hear, "Oh, are you,
You look
really
manly.
Yeah, are you
don't
really
look, yeah.
exactly like? Are
And
you really going to be
we still
bigger?"
have to deal with those kind
Every day.
of comments, but I think we don't get we just get stronger. They don't
Yes.
stop. We just get stronger mentally.
Yeah.
And that's why we handle those haters comments that trying to create, like a criticism that,
Yeah.
it's not even valid nowadays, because I think now, like, everyone can choose how we are happy to look in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that fitness opened up the space, the freedom to women be able to be strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually have those visible muscles without being called a man. And
Yeah. Exactly.
so for me, it was the hardest thing was to hear that from my family. Like, are you really going to get bigger? Are you going to look like this? Are you going to sound like that?
I felt same from my family.
Yeah, but it was only
think
like
it's
in the
too
first
much.
beginning.
I think it's too much.
Yeah.
You are so pretty. You don't need that.
Yeah.
Even like
But it
my
was-
mom, like me taking creatine
Yeah.
or whatever. She's like,
Yeah. She was like,
what
"What
are
are
you
you
taking? You're drugging yourself. I'm
Yes.
like, this is
Yeah.
glutamine. This
Like,
is creatine.
Yeah, Mom, you actually
You
need
don't
it
need
too.
that. You're so pretty.
And
my
that goes to
God.
show that it was only because they were like uneducated in this space. So when I started to tell them and started to like, hey,
Because
I'm actually
always we break the rule, we break the generational
Yes.
myth
Yeah.
of being fitness.
But I wouldn't say that they were unsupportive,
No,
but
they
it
were
was just those
worried.
questions
Yeah.
that just kept me
or they
feeling
didn't
demotivated.
want for us to be judged for the
Yes.
society.
Yes, because they only look for us to be okay.
protect us.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
protection
Exactly.
way that they said that.
Exactly.
So I never took it as a bad thing. I just felt a little bit demotivated by it. Like when I look back at it, and those were the only times I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Those were the only times that I wanted to stop, because otherwise this is just second nature for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what inspires you to start your own IB Fit team? To transform life through your
Yeah.
coaching. What was that, first step you did to say, okay, I'm gonna help other women or men, to become their best version?
So that started already the first summer after I graduated with my personal training license. So I started to take on.
You got your license here or
No, in Sweden.
In Sweden,
I was
yeah.
18 at that time.
Wow, you were very, very young.
Yeah, so I've
That's
been.
why she knows a lot. When I'm training with her, I'm like, no, you lead the training. I don't want to talk to you. She's like, no, you press here. I'm like, yeah. Go on, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't
We
even
have so
wanna
much fun,
talk.
though. We have so
I
much
know.
fun with
I don't even
training.
want to talk with her because she kills me. I'm like, she knows what she's doing. I don't. And then we try to do legs, and she was like, you should lead the training today. I'm like, can you do the training with me? Like, I don't feel like I wanna, fight for knowledge with you.
No, but the thing is, though, in my belief is that we can all learn from each other every single day. And
that's true.
I am like a sponge. I want to learn more. I want to hear what other people have in mind, because my way isn't always the right way for everyone.
Yeah.
So, and that is something to really keep in
Or
mind.
it should be always like a principle of basic exercise and movement, but each person works differently, right?
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
split the training division, like muscle groups different.
Yeah.
So in terms of diet, workout, I think it's always each person have their own path, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a cake receipt, like 2 eggs. No, everyone has different ways to get there.
Yeah,
you have to respect them as well.
Yeah. But so that's when it started. Like I started to have a few clients as well as my other 3 jobs at the same time. I just did it for fun. But then I realized like, oh, okay, this might be something that I really want to do. And then when I moved to another bigger city where actually personal training was a big thing, I was like, oh, okay, so this is how it feels like having a lot of clients. And that's also when I opened up the online spots that I had. But the name,
So you were doing like more
the PDFs
organically,
yeah.
having like everything handled by yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And
nowadays she has a whole team. It's a
Yeah.
different, but it's been a long path, right?
It's been a very long path, and it's not a business that just came, but the name IB Fit and the name and the app and everything like that opened up during 2020, 2021. So that took shape under years.
I forgot to ask you, when you got to the US?
2019.
2019.
January.
And
yes.
then you decide to come here for a American dream, right?
Yes.
For a better opportunity.
Yeah.
How was the sensation of leaving a place that holds you back, your memories, your family, and then coming back to, being an immigrant? I ask you because I felt that, it was really hard for me to rebuild my life until the place that I am today.
Yeah.
And I always try to encourage people who is struggling with putting their life together, because it's so hard.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit when you got to California, LA. I remember you were living over there, right?
Yeah. So
when you got here, you start working as a personal trainer or not yet?
So actually, we left Sweden on I never hated Sweden. I don't hate Sweden still, but I just felt it was not the right place for me then.
I respect my roots,
Yeah.
but I understand it was a better place for us.
Exactly. So we actually said goodbye to really good jobs that we had and went back to college to redo our kinesiology major, which means that we redid our certification in personal training because, at that point, I had already been a trainer for more than 10 years. And, you should always redo things and relearn.
Relearn,
So that's what we did for a full year. And then during 2020, which was a year where everything shut down, as we all know, we had a chance to start our online business within the kinesiology major, so we could stay and work in America. And when that happened, everything kind of just blew up. Even if I needed to restart my Instagram and everything because it got hacked,
pandemic.
Everything. We were like. It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
Not a single part was
I
easy.
remember the pandemic stage for me. It was horrible. I was barely earning money to pay my rent, my car, my insurance, my kids' food. I was surviving.
Yeah, surviving.
Yeah,
not thriving, just surviving, sticking to it and surviving, because sometimes surviving is just what will teach you whatever you need to later on thrive.
To move forward.
So we just stuck in there. We tried our hardest, and not by a fluke though, but by chance, we actually managed to get an O1 visa, and that's why we could stay.
Is O1 visa means work visa? No,
it is a kind of a work visa. Yes, it is. I think they call it the extraordinary talent.
Talent ability.
So it's a talent visa,
nice.
or like extraordinary abilities kind of one. Yeah. So you have something that a company here needs you
qualified to stay here.
So it's definitely something that was a hard one and a lot of hiccups and stuff like that, but. We're here. It's been a lot of years. Yes.
Yeah, it was all worth it. I've seen your progress. I've seen you coming from there and then grow every single day. But I know how hard you work. I know it's haven't been easy.
No, but when things aren't easy, that's when they taste even better too.
I am celebrate to cheers.
Yes. Yeah.
I know.
So I wake up every morning right now and feel extremely blessed, and I'm grateful, and I really do thank whatever the universe. Yes. Yeah. Because I don't want to take my life for granted, but I also don't want to waste it.
Exactly. Yeah. Live live life at the most.
Because it's today.
It's today.
You're not promised tomorrow, and yesterday has already passed.
Exactly. I love that. That's why I wanted to bring her. I know. And I know you have been working with a lot of people, through the years. I wanted to ask you because I want to help people who's maybe struggling with consistency or striving, keeping the right path. What's the most common mental, block mindset that you have, that you have seen in people? who struggle with discipline, who's always wanting to give up in the middle of a plan, in the middle of something hard.
Yeah.
What's the worst mental block that we all humans have?
I mean, in today's society, I think that we all lack patience. And you have to understand that one day you will wake up and you'll be like, wow, I want to change my physique now. Okay, good. But hear me out. You have had your physique that you have now for how much amount of time? Okay, so now when you have decided that you want to change your habits, you want to change the way that you live, can you expect your body to perform just because I'm on the on button now? I have motivation, I have this and I have that, and I have all the new gears. I have all the new shoes. I have the Fitbit.
I have the new outfit.
Yes, like all of those things. But how can your body change in 2 weeks' time what you had built up for 10 years or 5 years or 20 years? It doesn't make sense. And for me, what I normally tell people is that it is okay that things take time, and we're all on different time frames. And we should not compare ourselves to anyone else's journey because we don't really know.
You mentioned a point that it's been my turning point.
Okay.
It's stop comparing myself with other people.
Oh my gosh, that one is big.
That was my biggest gosh, inside of me, because especially us working on social media, we have comparison all the time. Yeah. I was thinking that I'm not good enough because I don't look this, I don't look that. And that was something that was torturing me for so many years. Thank God, I'm not going to say I overcome that situation by myself because my husband helped me a lot. And I think it's a really big part to mention because nowadays people tend to compare their life to what they see on social media. And that's not even real, I know I work with social media, but we always try to, everything looks better than it is. We always trying to find the right light, the right angle. Yeah. We always try to post the best photos. Yeah. And it's not fair for you to compare with someone who's even looking better than you. It doesn't matter, but you have your own worth, you have your own story, you have your own journey, and it's not worth it. It's just the biggest waste of time is you compare with other people, life or accomplishments, or whatever.
So that is actually something that I usually say is that if you're looking up to a person and you really aspire to be looking like them, like your version of them, of course, because we all know we cannot copycat. Exactly. We cannot be whatever someone else is. But if you really, really, truly want to get to that level, make sure that you ask this person the questions that can actually make you get there. Because in your head, that person just by a fluke were there. Like, you were just here all of a sudden looking the way that you do, having the followings that you do, having the companies that you do. That just happened overnight. It didn't. And that's what you have to realize.
And trust me, it cost me a lot of tears, a lot of sacrifice, And even I was actually telling my therapist last night that when I live in Venezuela, I have a way different lifestyle. When I got here, I have a shift. And I just work because, I have a dream, I have my kids, I have my family, and that's something that inspires me to be better. But at the same time, I feel like I'm over focused. I have that hyper focus that I have to be productive every single day. And, because you work like me with social media, we are our own bosses. Yeah. Like we never start demanding the best of ourselves. No. Like we never do, okay, no, I'm going to be lazy today. No. Like you got to do something. I'm going to clean. I'm going to do it.
That's a big struggle.
I know. Because that, that's not even healthy though,
No, it's not. And we want to present health and we want to be the ones to
we
show.
Have to balance that.
Yeah, we have to balance. And that is probably the hardest thing.
I know.
Because we want so much and we want to help so many.
Exactly.
But time is still just 24 hours a day.
Sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm going to start a more project. I'm going to do, and my husband is, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever thought the life you have right now? Like you have not even time for nothing. You're complaining all the time because you got home late. Yeah. You got the kids. You couldn't take them to the park. And you want to start a new company.
Yeah. Yep.
are you serious? I'm like, yes.
I'm hungry for
I
more.
know.
But that's also like sometimes it's good to have that person that kind of
I know it's good for me that I'm like always fired up, and my husband is more like, okay, calculate risk,
that's
like,
why you
because
will
I wouldn't
always
be like,
marry your opposite.
Do, and then, doing them with him how to figure it out. Like, it's not the right, it's not the right way. So maybe he's more like calculating risk, he's more overthinking, and I'm more impulsive, like, let's do it.
Yeah. No, I understand. Can relate.
Yeah, I know. So in few words, what's the advice you will give to women who struggle with consistency in their life in any project?
Remember that you are very clear on your why. And if your why is based on what other people wants to do for you, or if a why is based on something that you want to do. Because
that was deep.
Never forget that the only person that you will always forever have is yourself. So as long as you always show up for everyone else except for you, you will always have a little bit of resentment. And that will cause a disruption in your consistency, because there will be days when you're feeling so exhausted because you're always trying to please everyone else.
Oh, wow.
And this has been so hard for me because I am a people pleaser
I know,
it's really hard.
That's what like we're
so very similar.
I'm the biggest pleaser people in the world.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
But you have a heart of gold. But that is also one of the things that if you want to be capable and able to stay consistent for a very long time, you need to make sure that you protect your peace.
Yes.
And
and I've learned that because I have my boundaries now. I have my own family. I have my own marriage. So it's been a work for me to kind of block, other people's opinions to not damage what I've built.
Exactly. Yeah. So stand your ground and stay consistent, because you know that even if it feels hard, that hill will actually one day just kind of float out and just become one straight road, and you will get there. Just like, the miner in the gold mine, just like, he's like literally just this close to get the gold. Trust me, one day it is.
One day it is. One more step.
Yeah.
Never give up.
Just keep looking one step ahead, because that's all you need to do, and that's all you actually got.
Ahead. Yeah.
You don't have to see the finish line. You just have to see this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
how you do consistency.
Yeah. And with all the knowledge you have, like how many years training? Like over 10 years, right?
Oh, wow. 22.
Yeah.
22 years of training.
Oh my gosh.
With all 17 years of being educated.
With all the experience, training and dieting, if you will have the power to disappear any myth about training, about diet, what would it be?
That carbs is the enemy. I would also take away that muscles make women look bulky. I would also want to take away the fact that you have to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli to become a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Not true.
So nowadays, I've seen like many young women, they think they have to take hormones or something to conquer the body,
Yes.
I've seen so many young girls. I talk about girls because, I follow a lot of girls.
Yeah.
And I think, and I was confused too in the past, because I said, no, if you don't help yourself with hormones or something, you are not going to be able to improve your body. And that's such a lie.
Yes.
Like society, it's taken off for granted with all the Instagram perfectionism, but it's far from the truth, right?
And here again, I'm telling you, in today's society, we are lacking patience.
Yes.
And that's the biggest issue. And that people think that you magically, when you add in like hormones and stuff like that, that you automatically just will look a certain way. Well, you still need to put in the work. You still need to do all those things, and will still take time. But yes, it will probably go faster. But that's also very harmful.
And after, what's coming
after?
From that? Like all the side effects,
exactly,
all the rebound, the water retention. We have to think better.
Yeah,
because I've suffered some consequences. I'm like, why did I do that? I should be more oriented, and that's why nowadays I'm like more grounded and more mature, I would say, in terms of health, and doing the right thing and understanding I don't need to look in a certain way to be me. to be the best of me.
And I also want to say this. If you give it time, you can look just as good as they do without it.
Exactly.
Because I'm sitting here as a proof that people accuse me every single day for usage, and I'm sitting here natural. So it's
is
just
the
like
proof, girls.
we can do it without it.
I know.
But it will take a lot of effort.
I know.
But be there. Do it for yourself and don't rush it.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to rush it because, in my opinion, mature muscle mass.
And I'm in the
time.
process too. You know,
Yeah.
I've been natural for a long time now, for years, and I've been feeling myself in the best stage ever because I'm like, wow. I'm feminine. I'm me. You know, I'm who I am. You know, this is my nature.
Yeah.
And of course, giving my best on my trainings, on my diet, and everything. You know.
And we just have to realize, like, yes, women might take a little bit longer time to build muscle mass, but that also doesn't mean that it has to be true for every woman.
Exactly.
And you can still do that.
It's a basic path, like eating right, training right, sleeping right, like resting right, and that's it. You know, it's it's a circle. It's a cycle that never ends and works for everyone.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. I wanted to be more intimate. I wanted to ask you, what's your daily routine? What's your what's hiding in your routine to be successful, to stay grounded, to stay consistent? When you look at yourself on those, because I'm not saying like you have all perfection all the time, you always feel right. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you say like, I feel like crap, you know, like I don't feel good, you know, like look at my belly, I ate yesterday. Like, how do you manage those bad feelings? How do you control those bad feelings in that moment, and how do you continue to, you know, with your journey, inspiring other people and put a smile on your face and do your post, even like you're inside out, like you're feeling bad in that day?
Because you will feel bad.
It
doesn't matter.
I'm asking you because it happened to me somewhere. I'm like, oh, I look like crap. And then like that video went viral and got like 400 million views. I'm like, I was feeling bad.
Yeah.
how did I do that?
Yeah.
You know, like,
no, and that's the thing. Like, you as a person will have a gazillion thoughts in your brain of how you feel, but you are also the one who can make the difference of, do I let this control my day, or do I go about and do exactly what I always do anyways and just try my best? It might not have the same outcome as the days when you feel like you're the shit, but we will all, definitely women will always have those days when we are second guessing ourselves, when we feel bloated, when we feel like I'm not myself. And those days has become more and more and more the more I age, and like, wow, I am really not myself today. But what I have learned, because I am also coaching a lot of women in this like perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. There's like,
for us women, like our hormonal
it's so
shifts
different.
are it's so hard.
But since I'm trying to teach them, I learned so much for myself, and I'm like, okay, but wait a second. Let's hold this and let's come here a little bit. Let's go. Okay, sit with yourself a moment. Is it really that bad? And who even noticed? And why do you care that other people notice?
Yes, that's
because
the point.
that's the thing.
The point.
And if you notice that you're not yourself and that you do not like the person that you are, you can decide that you want to do something about it. Because there's no one more powerful than you.
Exactly.
And yes, you might not feel this way. I understand. I don't feel powerful myself all the time. But if we sit in it, and if we just accept ourselves for what we are, we will actually end up having a better day tomorrow.
Yes.
We are allowed to have bad days.
I couldn't be more agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked previously about this, but I wanted to touch this. I'm going to go deeper on this point. It's about social media, because I know how hard it is. I know you have a huge following on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube. How do you handle, first of all, a few things. The pressure of the comparison that we talked about, spoke already. The pressure of having to look always good, you know, like maybe having to look always lean or something. So how do you handle everything to balance, you know, real life and social media life?
I think the way that I can balance this in any way, because yes, I have really tough days too, but that's because it helps me when I help other people with this. So I go through this with my ambassadors, I go through this with my clients, and I try to teach them. And as soon as I teach them, I get reminded myself. However, to always feel the need of comparison. And that's kind of the thing why I also stopped competing, because I would constantly compare myself to the other people in my group, because I would be compared on stage with the group. So I needed to always like get there. And like, how big is her shoulder? How deeply cut is her quads? I need to get there. And that was a constant stressor for me. And that's also one of the reasons why I stopped, because I was like, but I don't want to live life this way.
Yes.
And I compare myself so much with myself. And that is why
I wanted to ask you if that comparison makes you feel insecure about your husband in any stage of your life. If social media maybe make you guys feel insecure each other, or have any kind of, issues that couples have in reality, because I've known people that struggle with having a public life, that both post together. And I know people struggle with that, but I think confidence and respect is the word, right?
Yeah. And I think that Henrik and I, we are so comfortable and confident in each other.
That's the biggest blessing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
So
the biggest blessing nowadays. It's not a Lamborghini, it's not a Rolex.
It's the person
it's a healthy relationship, because it's the hardest to find. Real love, real partnership. Someone who's rooting for you no matter what, And I've seen you and Henrik like being a super strong couple that I admire a lot as well. That's why I wanted to navigate deeper on those relationship tips. So maybe people who struggle with their partners to, penetrate more on social media, deal with it.
Because there will always be comments, and sometimes there will be, men will always be men and women will always be women. So there will be a lot of flirting.
We have a nature, mother nature, that we're built, We are never going to be thinking like men's never going to think like women.
Nah, exactly. So, but I think there's just like an understanding that we are just both so unitedly wanting to take our company forward and to support as many people as possible. And sometimes people come into your life with other intentions than with the ones that you think they are. And that's like, but for me and Henrik, we're so secure in our relationship that there's really never an issue. If someone becomes flirted, that's like, okay, well, I'm taken.
I have a husband. I have my relationship. I'm good.
I'm not interested. And that kind of, so we have never had an issue like that. So I'm very blessed with that.
Yes,
and I am also like, I'm really not, I think I have so much competition with myself
that I try to be better than someone.
Yes. Because the thing is, you will never be good for everyone.
I know, yes. We are always running our own race.
Yes.
I think like what's good for you maybe is not good for me. And then I have to compare myself with me, like being the best version of myself and not try to beat everyone, because everyone's going to be better in their own way, Like, you cannot compete with someone who's not racing your same, race.
Like we cannot race anyone else's race, because we only have our own. And that's kind of the whole ordeal with this comparison on social media. It has been a very hard path for me to sit here now and say, like, you can say whatever you want to say to me, because I know myself by now.
Yes,
and I'm so blessed by the
I know who I am. And it took me years to learn that too.
Yeah. But I've been in the industry for more than 20 years. Social media has been for a very long time.
Wild, guys. I gotta be honest. In the very beginning, like my beginning of social media, my growth was massive. I grow really fast. And I couldn't handle, those comments or something.
Because it was new to you.
Child, Yeah. And I'm lucky that I count on my husband's support, to maybe like give me, strength, grounded, and then overcome those situations. And I'm like, no, I know who I am. I can stand next to a beautiful girl, 6 foot, like. She's perfect. She's nice, and I know who I am. I don't need to compare with.
And that's the thing. Like when you stop having that mindset to compare yourself to the one you sit next to, because people would say like, you have this number on social media, but that doesn't matter, because some people will have me as a superior and others will have me as inferior person.
Yeah,
but it's
and
just
it's
a number.
fine. I know,
It's just a number.
I
It's just
know.
so silly. It doesn't give me more value than
and
anyone
it doesn't
else.
give you numbers. Doesn't mean anything.
No.
It doesn't give you. It don't make you be better or worse.
No,
Like,
it's just like
it's
I
totally-
feel rather so blessed that I have the followings that I have, or that you have the following you
Yeah,
have,
of
because we
course.
can help other people
Yeah, of
on
course.
a wider
And
spectrum.
we have created our communities genuinely, like
Yeah.
being us,
Yeah.
posting what we do,
Yeah.
like not even with a purpose, just everything came like smoothly. I
Yeah.
think in your case was same. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
doing what you love the most, and then everything boom blows.
Yeah. So I didn't force it. I was just like,
Exactly.
I'm just talking the way that I want to talk. And the ones that like me for that, or the people that has the same opinions or
I know.
ways of being, they're going to follow my
Journey.
journey. Yeah, my
of
journey.
course.
And probably they will be my people.
Exactly.
And you will find your people too. They are out there. And
Yeah,
I think
they
that's
are
what
out
you
there.
have to remember,
Yeah.
that stop
And I think
trying to
every
win
people
over.
have something to share. Every person
Yeah,
has the
absolutely.
power to create their own communities, as
Yeah.
long as they're shown as the way they are, like
Yeah.
naturally,
Yeah. So stop trying to chase people that is not on your wavelength, because
Yes.
you will not win anything from being in a
Yeah,
relationship with
yeah,
them.
I
So
know.
just find your people and they will naturally come to you.
Yes, and they
Yeah.
will stay with you because
Yeah.
those people are loyal.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what's one thing people don't notice in your before and after pictures? Because I see you post a lot before and after pictures, because there is a lot of improvement in terms of Ira in the past and Ira in the present. And it's not only, I can tell in the photos that it's not only about muscles and abs. Like I can tell your face. Tell me more, like what's that unknown part of those before and after? Because I feel something in your back self that nowadays I see a different, angel on you,
Yeah.
like a different shine.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's very beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
you. I think that through all these years that I've been doing social media or taking photos, like it doesn't have to,
Yeah, I
like
know.
taking photos in general, like as I said, my 20s, that was rough.
Yes.
I was not happy.
Yeah, me too.
My 20s were hard. I just lost my father. I had 5 jobs at the same time. I did not really know what I wanted to do. I started to compete, and I did this and I did that, and this whole comparison thing. And I wanted to be the star of the show at the nightclub, but I also wanted to be the star of the show at the gym. And I never felt enough. And then I don't know what happened, but I think that I started to realize that I am actually living the dream life that I always wanted to build.
Yeah,
And I think that's the switch.
yes.
Because also one of the other things are that I show up for myself every day. I do not fool myself anymore. And to be honest with myself has been the most groundbreaking things that I've done. So if I go a couple of days of eating other things that I
Yeah.
know that I really feel my best at, for example, this is just an example.
Yeah.
That is when I start to second guess myself, because I am not staying within my discipline realm.
Yes.
I'm starting to.
So you're not your best in
Yes.
that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me,
Same
I have-
happened to me. That's why I like to have a control of myself. you know?
yeah, because it starts with the discipline.
Yes, totally.
It doesn't matter in
Doesn't
what,
matter,
but
yeah.
and discipline
And I
is not
feel
boring.
When I have the control of myself,
Yeah.
I feel great.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do better than this.
Yeah.
This is the result. This
And
is
yeah,
me.
if
You
I
know, that's
then
all.
start to wish for something else,
Yes.
well, then I'm not going to say that I cannot have it, but I
But
just have to
I know my
think-
limits,
Yeah,
like-
so.
and it's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine.
okay. It's
I know,
fine.
I
But
know.
it is when we let go of that kind of attitude of being the best version of ourselves,
Yes.
that's when it starts to get rough again.
I know,
So
I
I
know.
think the glow up, if you want to call it that, I don't know. But
I'll
I think
call the glow up.
I think that is just finding my own 2 feet, finding my ground, and realizing that
And I think trusting your capacities.
Yes,
too,
exactly.
Like I'm able to work on what I want. I'm able to have my own community.
Yeah.
I'm able to survive in a concrete jungle here in Miami.
Yeah, yeah.
It gives us the power to say, I'm here and I can do it. And, I have to respect myself.
yeah, 100%. Yes.
And then I wanted to ask you a good advice for those girls that really wants to lift heavy, do train heavy, do diet, but they're afraid of having those criticism on social media, or they're afraid to look in certain way because people is so rude, people is mean. So
Yeah.
what's a good advice to those people who stop chasing their dreams because of others people's opinion?
Let them.
Let them. Oh my gosh, I heard
Mel Robbins.
Yeah. I was
No,
gonna
that's
say
like
that.
100% though. She's
Mel
so
Robbins
right.
changed my life.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, that woman is just
She's
an
so
angel.
good, but-
she's amazing.
No, but honestly, like lifting heavy weights will not make you bulky. It will still take time to build muscle mass. And lifting heavy does not mean that you have to do a 400 pounds hip thrust. It means that you just have to overdo what you did last week. You do not
But
have
perform
to
better.
yeah, just perform better and perform in a way that you feel, oh, I actually did more than I did last week. Get yourself to feel like you are performing well. That is how you also intertwine with let them, is when you're going to say, I don't care
Let
shit.
them think what they want to think.
Yeah, like-
you cannot control other people's opinion. You
No.
can control your life, your happiness, and your right people will fund you.
Yeah.
That's it. It's simple.
It is simple, yet so hard.
It's
we
hard to
understand.
practice. Yeah, I know.
and that's the thing. I think that people.
I think in our 20s, because we are over 30,
Yeah.
and then I think it's just the age that will give you, that
Yeah.
kind of,
Mhm.
let them,
Yeah.
like, if you want to think what you want to think, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's
And
fine.
it's not going to hurt me. Your noise is going to
I
be
know,
gone.
I know.
All I need to do is
So I
refill my
free up
cup.
a space for someone who truly wants to be with
Yeah,
me,
yeah. And I don't have to be one else's cup.
Yes.
Because you can't.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that's when the shift happened.
I
because
know.
I was like, okay, everyone cannot like me. I need to like
Not
me.
even Jesus,
No.
conquered that. He was
Yeah.
crucified, and then people, what can I expect,
Yeah. And if you are a person on social media, you have to be okay with having
Or
people's
people
opinion.
not agreeing with you.
Yeah,
I know.
it's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
And if you
yeah.
cannot accept that, then maybe you need to work on that part.
On that part, yeah. There is something you regret in your journey, in your past years, like something like say, oh, my youngest Ida didn't deserve this. I think I should rethink better, because I always like to talk about my mistakes so people can, avoid them.
Yeah. I think that one of the most distinct things would be to never putting on the pause button and actually see what you have done. Because I have always just restarted the next thing. Whenever I have finished anything, or even like gotten a good grade in school, whatever that has been, I have never given myself grace or like a pat on the back, said, hey, you did a good job.
You did a good job.
I have
I'm the
never,
same.
yeah.
I'm not.
So
No, it should be better. I could be better.
Yeah, and this is what I can
you
fix.
Look good.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why?
And I'm like, why?
One day my sister told me, like, accept the compliment.
Yeah. Just take it.
Just
Yeah.
take it. Why you always like say to me, no, I
Yeah.
should be better.
Yeah.
Like, just say thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like being kind with yourself.
Yeah. So that is probably what I would say.
I
regret.
I have a quick round question. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm
Yes,
gonna read the
okay.
questions. I'm gonna give you a few seconds for you to answer, and then we're gonna laugh because it's just I see the questions, but
Okay, go
I
ahead.
know. Okay.
Fun.
Fun round number 1: coffee or pre-workout?
Both, but not at the same time. Pre-workout in the morning and coffee in the afternoon.
Oh my God, this girl is high performance.
Indeed.
Gym alone or gym partner?
Partner.
A partner? I like gym alone. Being mean.
No, but honestly though, I do love my days when it's so
Yeah.
rare, but I do love my gym trainings
Yeah,
myself too. Yeah.
I'm so selfish training.
Good, as you should.
Favorite cheat meal? Tell the truth. You don't need to hide.
I cannot hide. I had a YouTube channel for 5 years about food. Okay, so just right now, all I want is Colombian food.
Colombian food?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
The black beans, the plantains, rice.
yes.
Maybe we should go now.
Yes,
After
please.
the podcast. 3 words that describe your mindset right now. Your shift, your...
Okay, so I feel focused, aligned and excited.
Oh my God, that was good.
Yeah.
What's next for Ida? How do you look at yourself in 5 years, 3 years? What are your plans in the future? Personal, professional? I want to be invasive here.
Okay. So,
I
wow.
want to be nosy.
Yeah. So far, like again, being on a visa ain't easy. So for me to think 3 years ahead or 5 years ahead is scary because I don't want to paint a picture that I don't even know if I'm going to be
Yes,
allowed to
of
have.
course.
However, if I can see myself in the future for 3 to 5 years, I probably would say that my company is bigger than it is now, that I am helping more people than I ever have, totally global as it is now, and that I'm happy
Yes, happiness.
and calm.
Happiness, calm, peace. I think that's the main goal of life.
Yeah.
And sometimes we are rushing, wanting to succeed, to have a status, to have recognition,
Yeah.
and then all resume in being happy with us, being in peace,
Yeah.
facing a place where you feel your best,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you.
Every time I'll talk with her, I got inspired. I understand why I feel in love with this lifestyle because it gives me so much opportunity. It opened up so many doors. I can connect with such an amazing people, and Ida is one of her. We met few months ago, and then since then, I have a huge love for her, admiration for her.
Same.
And I truly admire you because I know you are beautiful inside out.
It is so strange that you can find people that you literally feel is kind of your extended family so
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
Because that's how I feel for you. I feel very safe and I feel loved and I feel appreciated. And I think that's very important.
In the conversation that we don't need to compete each other. We know
We lift each other up.
Yes.
We
know
complement
we can
each
be
other.
better together.
Yeah.
And that's something mature time and a lot of inner work can provide. And I'm really happy. I'm really blessed that being surrounded with such an amazing people like you.
Likewise.
Yes.
I'm really grateful for you.
Thank you for the conversation, and
You guys.
please provide your social media so people who wants to know more about you can
Yeah.
follow you. Any advice that you can share with us?
Yeah, so my social media is Ida Bergfoth on all my social medias. And of course, as you know, there's going to be a lot of people that tries to be you. But
I know.
the
That's
ones
why
that
I
I
make
have are the
sure.
ones with the blue dot.
Blue dot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Ida Bergfoth, simple and easy. Well, not that easy, but
Yeah, I was like, before starting the podcast, I was like, how can I pronounce your last name?
yeah. So she actually said it right. I
Okay.
said it the American way. But
Well, thank you guys for watching. If you get to this point, you are the real one, and I'm so blessed to have you too. We see you on the next episode, and thank you so much. I hope you guys like it.
Bye.